We begin this half hour talking about Election Day. It's Election Day for most cities in New Mexico.
Albuquerque, Gallup, Las Cruces, and Los Alamos are the only cities not holding elections today. And in Santa Fe, voters are going to get their chance to pick a mayor. The candidates are former Democratic Party Chair Javier Gonzalez, City Councilor Patty Bushy, and Bill Demas. Folks there are also voting on a number of charter amendments. One proposes to make the mayor of Santa Fe a full-time worker with a full-time salary. And folks in Rio Rancho, Corrales, and Bernalillo will get to vote on their next mayor as well. In Rio Rancho, former mayors Jim Owen and Michael Williams have their eyes on their old job, along with newcomers Morgan Braden and Greg Hull. Voters in Rio Rancho will also decide 3 of that city's 6 council seats. For more information on the elections, head to our website at krqe.com. Click on links. Albuquerque police have released the lapel camera video that shows an officer shooting a man.
Officer Brian Pitzer fired 8 times at Joaquin Ortega, a man who had just tossed his gun. 911 calls started coming in about a silver car that almost ran people off the road. Ortega's girlfriend apparently told police he had been snorting Xanax and drinking before he took off in his car and crashed into a light pole on Central in Washington. Police say he then robbed a 76-year-old woman and then pulled a gun on someone else.
He pulled out a gun and he's walking on Central right now.
Police say Officer Pitzer caught up with Ortega near Nob Hill. They say Ortega took off running and tossed his gun, and that's when shots were fired. Now, an attorney who represents a man Pitzer shot at in a different incident questions why Pitzer fired his gun.
Mr. Pitzer knew there was no more weapon in play and proceeded to shoot Mr. Ortega 6 times as Mr. Ortega ran away from him.
Okay, then APD Interim Chief Alan Banks said Pitzer felt threatened and that's why he shot. Ortega is now facing several charges. Officer Brian Pitzer has been in the news before. He has 2 federal lawsuits pending against him. City officials in Albuquerque do not want cops to come back to the Albuquerque area.
The city council joined the mayor in officially saying it does not want cops. We're talking the TV show Shooting in Duke City.
All those in favor, raise your hand and say yes. Yes.
Our councilors voted 7-2 to tell Bernalillo County Sheriff Dan Houston not to let cops film with his deputies next month. Several business groups and Mayor R.J. Berry say bringing cops back will cast Albuquerque in a bad light. Councilor Trudy Jones is not a fan of the show, but she voted against the resolution. Here's why.
I think we need to start doing our own business a little more efficiently and stay out of yours.
We absolutely do have a stake. The people that we represent are paying for these services.
Sheriff Dan Houston insists the program will honor his deputies' work and that the majority of the public supports having the show here. Just so you know, Cops certainly does not have the audience it used to. According to the website TV by the Numbers, the show caters to men 18 to 49 years old and just isn't enjoying the popularity it once did. Cops originally aired on Fox with 3 million people watching the season finale last year. Now the show airs on Spike TV. Basically, it went from broadcast to cable, and now about 1 million people watch it each week.
Police in Santa Fe are looking for an armed robber who held up a gas station while wearing a wrestling mask, a luchador mask to be exact. It happened Saturday night at the Filler Up gas station on Cerrillos Road. Officials say that the thief handed the clerk a threatening note, then forced the employee to open the safe at gunpoint. The clerk told police that the robber had blue eyes and may have driven off in a black Honda Civic. A Santa Fe Crime Stoppers reward is being offered for information leading to an arrest.
Well, tourism is providing a big boost to New Mexico's economy, and that is great news for jobs here. The National Park Service says in 2012, 1.5 million people visited places such as Carlsbad Caverns, Chaco Canyon, and the Pecos National Historical Parks. The Park Service also says tourists spend more than $80 million during their stay, which helps support thousands of jobs. New Mexico's parks and tourism is a big factor in the national economy, returning $10 for every $1 the National Park Service invests. Meanwhile, the Obama administration says the government shutdown, which closed national parks last fall, cost parks and businesses $414 million. According to a report released yesterday, states including Arizona and California saw a $20 million loss during that shutdown. Elizabeth?
PNM is launching a new program that could help lower your bills. It's called the PNM Home Energy Checkups, and for $40, customers will receive a programmable thermostat, compact fluorescent light bulbs, faucet aerators, and low-flow shower heads. An assessor will also walk through your home and install the items. The program started yesterday in Albuquerque and will be available in Santa Fe later this month. Customers in other parts of the state will be able to participate starting in April. Well, we are now in the beginning of irrigation system in the middle Rio Grande Valley.
Well, it's been one of the driest winters on record, I believe the third driest. Surprisingly, it's not all bad news for farmers. The record monsoons last summer helped their water supplies. The Middle Rio Grande Conservancy District says it expects to have more water to start this season, more than it did at this time last year.
We normally start a year somewhere 60, 80,000 acre feet or more, and right now we're probably going to begin the year somewhere around 20 to 40,000 acre feet.
Snowpack across many mountains is between 50 and 80% of what it should be, worse than this time last season. While the water outlook isn't too bad right now, the Conservancy District says it is still cautious about everything.